Hi everyone, this is Breaka and here are 5 tracks that influenced my album Aeoui. Track number 1 is by Vigro Deep, who is undoubtedly my number 1 amapiano producer. I went through a huge phase of inspiration basically directly from this guy, and his album Far Away From Home especially, I think I've listened to it about 1,000 times. There's something so special about his production. Just the way when the bass comes in, the log drums just roll in, you just kind of, your brain just sinks into it. It's got all of my favorite things about the genre really reflected in this track. The kind of like really cool cut up vocals and then the sinister logs, and it gives it this like super relaxed and summery vibe, but at the same time it's like super evil and clubby. Track number 2 is by Sons of Kemet, a track called In Memory of Samir Awad. I just completely had this moment of massive inspiration going to see them play at the Roundhouse a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure it was during this track when I just pulled out my phone and just started writing down all of this crazy stuff. Main idea was that I wanted to, for once, make something which is pretty directly inspired by something else. I usually try and combine a lot of influences into one for my tunes, but for Roundhouse off of the LP, I wanted to really make something very directly inspired by Sons of Kemet, as they're just one of my favourite bands. Yeah, this track in particular is just so special, the way it builds energy. Track number 3 is by Mosca, and tune entitled The Whole Place Was Crawling. If there's one person that's influenced me the most with sound design, it's gotta be him. His one-off releases on his label Rent Recordings, it's like such an amazing show of production strength. And this track in particular, I just love it, because when you listen to it in your headphones or at home, you're like, how could this ever be played in a club? It's like so mental. And then when you actually come to it, and it just hits the speakers in such an incredible way, it just sets the room into this like mad state. Yeah, I think that's really the power of sound design. So if there's a parallel in my album, I'd say probably Squashy Track. I wanted to push the boundaries a bit with how dark and intense I could make the sounds. Track number 4 is a classic love of mine, one of my first loves, in Footwork, which is a tune by Stray called LA Zoom. There's infinite things I could say about this track, but I think the best way you can see the influences through the vocal production. I still don't really know how he did it on this specific tune, but it kind of goes from don't waste it, don't waste it, don't waste it, don't risk it, don't risk it, to like don't wish that, don't wish that. Yeah, I don't know how it blends so nicely, but it just becomes this whole mush where the vocal becomes like a drum and at the same time an atmosphere. So yeah, I'd really recommend checking out this track. Tune number 5 is going to be Paris Club Music Volume 1, a track by French Fries called Yo Vogue VIP, and a lot of people have cited this album as a major influence for good reason, because it did directly influence like a whole decade of club music, I'm pretty sure. If you haven't heard this album, you have to go listen. Just like this combination of ballroom with modern sounds like Paris bass sound, wild.
Boom, boom, boom.